Hey, are you making a good resale investment when you buy this house? Let's talk about what that means. Hi, I'm Deborah Durbin with Sacramento Good Life Real Estate up in the beautiful Sacramento metro area. I cover Rockland, Roseville, all the way across to El Dorado Hills and in the Sacramento metro area north of Sacramento. I'm so happy to talk to you today about today's subject, which is how do you know when you're a buyer and you buy a home, what the resale value of this home is going to be when you go to sell it yourself. Well, no one seems to remember that when they come into a house. They get very emotionally attached right away. They can start to see themselves living in this particular home. They see their children swimming in the backyard. They have a vision of what life's going to be like in that house, and that's really what drives the purchase of most homes. But I want you to think about the following. Someday you're going to sell that house. Either you're going to move up to a larger house, your kids are going to grow up and you're going to want to downsize, or you want to turn this into an investment property. Whatever that is for you going forward, resale value matters when you buy a home, and you should think about that as well as your emotional attachment. So what are the three things that you need to be aware of when you go to purchase a home? Well, the number one thing is the neighborhood and schools. Schools are so important. And I can't tell you how many times people have said, look, Deb, we don't have any children. We don't care about the schools. We're not going to be using these schools. But you actually use these schools for later resale value, because homes that live in good school districts often draw much more money than homes that don't, because families want to put their children in the best schools they can. And those schools drive your price, even if you don't have kids. So really look at that. Now, the wonderful thing about this area, much greater than any area I've ever lived before, and this was a big move for me, is that most of the schools up here are average, above average, or excellent. And so you may actually have to buy down to start your equity, but as soon as you can, try to move into an area that has better schools, not just for your kids, but also for your resale value. The next piece is really important, and that is location. Location is improved by things like views and excellent neighborhoods. And you know those neighborhoods when you drive into them, they just feel wonderful. You can see families take pride in ownership of their homes. Their homes look very nice regardless of the age. They're kept up, their front yards are beautiful. That's a neighborhood you want to live in, because the resale value is going to be really high in those areas, and that's an area you want to look at. Views are so important. If you're looking out over open space or a canyon or a preserve, or perhaps it's a golf course if you live in a community, and perhaps it's something else like a lake or a river. Around here it could be the Lake Folsom view or the city view. Whatever it is, those views are super important, and people are looking for things like views. So give some consideration to where you're purchasing and what it looks like when you look out the windows. The next thing has to do with flow. People love single-story homes the most. Why? They love them because no matter what their age, whether they're young or old, they can actually move through this house comfortably, and they don't have to worry about going up and down stairs. But you often buy a home with stairs when you're starting out, and it's not an issue. But think about who the client is that's going to come and purchase that home. The other thing is that in some cultures, feng shui is super important, and they want the house to point east. So if that's important to you, or you think it might be important to your buyer going forward, give some consideration to that. The other thing too is that to heat and cool a single-story home is much less expensive than a two-story home. And that's definitely something to think about in terms of your overall cost of owning this house. So how do you find these homes, and how do you make sure that you are just viewing the homes that are the best for you? This is why you deal with agents who are experienced like I am. We go and find those homes that map to what you need right now, and we can tell you what we perceive that resale value to be when you go forward. In this area, having a pool is super important, but it isn't a deal breaker because the housing market is so hot. But it's one of the things that really matter in a climate that gets warm in the summertime. So that's another thing you might want to consider. Let's find you the right home for this stage in your life, and let's talk about resale value as we go through the emotional connection of finding your next home. My name is Deborah Durbin. I'm with Sacramento Good Life Real Estate, and I look forward to helping you find your next home. Until next time, goodbye from Sacramento Good Life. Bye-bye.